Welcome back to the Old Coin Vault, fellow treasure hunters. Today, we're cracking open a case that baffles many collectors. A coin that says 1982, but feels like it's from a bygone era. A coin that says 2.5 shillings from a country that abandoned shillings over 20 years earlier. This is the 1982 South African 2.5 shillings, and it's one of the most intriguing modern coins out there. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin special, what it's truly made of, and its surprising value today. B-roll of old South African maps, vintage photos of miners. But first, the big question: why? Why would the Republic of South Africa mint a 2.5 shilling coin in 1982? The country decimalized way back in 1961, introducing the rand and cents. The shilling was history. So what's the story? Well, friends, this coin wasn't meant for everyday change in South Africa. This was a commemorative issue, specifically minted for coin collectors and the international numismatic market. It's a deliberate throwback, a nod to the nation's pre-decimal coinage heritage. Close-ups of older 2.5 shilling coins from the 1950s, then the 1982 coin for comparison. Let's rewind. The original 2.5 shilling, also known as the half crown in the British system, was a workhorse of South African commerce. First minted in the 1920s with the portrait of King George V, it continued through the era of the Union and featured the iconic bust of Paul Kruger on the obverse and the majestic Springbok on the reverse. When decimalization hit in 1961, the 2.5 shilling was replaced by the 25-cent coin. It seemed its chapter was closed. But in the early 1980s, the South African Mint had an idea. To celebrate this iconic design and cater to the booming collector market, especially around the world-famous Krugerrand, they decided to strike a new batch. And they did it with a very special, very valuable metal. Graphics appear on screen. Metal: sterling silver, 0.925 fine, weight 14.14 g, pure silver weight, 0.42 Oz T. This is where it gets exciting. While the regular circulating coins of 1982 were made of nickel or copper nickel, the 1982 2.5 shilling commemorative was struck in sterling silver. That's right, 92.5% pure silver. This wasn't some base metal imitation. This was a precious metal issue. Hold a 1982 2.5 shilling. Feel its heft: 14.14 grams of solid sterling silver. That means it contains roughly 0.42 troy ounces of pure silver. Immediately, its value has a solid foundation, the intrinsic value of its silver content. So even if silver prices fluctuate, this coin will always carry that precious metal premium. Let's appreciate the artistry. The obverse features the stern, bearded portrait of Stephanus Johannes Paulus Kruger, Paul, the former president of the South African Republic. The legend reads, "Issued to Africa, South Africa, in the year 1982. Flip it over, and on the reverse, we see the graceful, leaping springbok, the national animal of South Africa. The denomination is written in both Afrikaans and English. 2.5 shillings, 12.5 shillings. The design is crisp, elegant, and full of national symbolism. Pay attention to the edge. It's milled or reeded, which is a classic feature for silver coins to prevent clipping. The luster is typically brilliant, as most were saved in mint state by collectors. On-screen text with values. You hold a coin up to the camera. Now, the moment you've been waiting for. What is this 1982 2.5 shilling worth? You might see a face value of $20 or so in some catalogs, but that's just a nominal collector designation. Its real value comes from three factors. 1. Silver value. At today's silver spot price, let's say $25 per ounce, the melt value of this coin is already around $10-$12. 2. Numismatic premium. As a commemorative issue with a limited mintage, just over 81,000 were minted in proof and uncirculated finishes. It carries a collector's premium. A brilliant uncirculated BU example typically sells between $25 and $40. 3. Condition and market. A flawless proof coin, originally sold in a presentation case, can command $45 to $70 or more, especially if it has its original packaging. The value scales directly with condition. A worn coin will be closer to its silver value, while a pristine gem is a collector's prize. So, could you have one of these silver sleepers in your collection or in a jar of old foreign coins? It's entirely possible. Look for the date 1982, the denomination 2.5 shillings, and that distinctive Kruger portrait. Check its weight and luster. Silver has a specific feel and sound. This coin is a perfect bridge between the old world of silver coinage and modern collecting. It's a piece of history, a piece of art, and a piece of solid silver. Whether you're a history buff, a silver stacker, or a completist collecting South African series, this coin deserves a spot in your vault. And that, treasure hunters, is the full story of the 1982 South Africa 2.5 shillings. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Subscribe to Old Coin Vault and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next numismatic adventure. Now I want to hear from you. Do you have one of these? Or another South African coin you'd like me to feature? Drop a comment below. Until next time, keep hunting and remember, every coin has a story. I'll see you in the next video.